So I welcome you to the last class of our topic nature of matter. I hope you all are healthy and fine. Let's start our today's class. Before I start today's topic, let's recapitulate what all we have learned in our previous two classes. Okay? Okay, here we go. Nature of matter. So in recapitulation, we have started the chapter with the term material. All the things around us comes under material, and we have categorized these materials into two categories, that is natural materials and synthetic or man-made material. Here natural materials means the materials which occurs in nature, which were found in nature, and man-made or synthetic materials means the materials in the making of which man had a hand, means the material which were made by man comes under synthetic or man-made materials. Then we have come to the term classification. We have seen that grouping of materials on the basis of similar properties is known as classification, correct? Then we have come to matter. We have talked about that everything around us is matter. Matter is everything that occupies some space and have some specific mass. Then we have come to constitution of matter. We have divided matter into three broad categories on the basis of physical state, on their physical state. So three broad categories of matter, that is solid, liquid and gases, we have talked about. In constitution we have talked about how these three are different from each other. How can I differentiate a matter into liquid, solid or gas? How can I say that yes, this thing is solid, this is liquid and this is gas? What are the difference among them? First, in solid we have talked about that the particles of a solid matter are very closely packed and they have no free space to move around. Also solids have definite shape and definite volume. Then we have come to liquids. We have talked about that in liquids the particles hold each other but not so closely as in the solids. They have a hold on each other but not so tight. Particles can freely move a little bit. And volume, and about the volume, liquids do not have a specific shape, but they do have a specific volume. Then in gases we talked that gases in the particles in the gases are very loosely packed. They do not have a very tight hold on each other and they can freely move. Okay, so we have talked that gases also have no shape. They take up the entire volume of the container they are put into, correct? Those were about constitution of matter. Then we have come to talked about properties of matter. First property that we have used is appearance and feel. With appearance we means how does the matter appear, that is whether it was lustrous, shiny or dull, or we can say non-shiny. And with feel we means smooth or rough, whether the material, whether the matter that we are touching is smooth or rough in feeling. Then we have talked about transparency. We see that transparency basically means the property of a material to allow light to pass through it, whether I can see through a material or not. That is what transparency means. Then we have come to floating and sinking. In this we have talked about that many materials around us can float or sink in water based on its weight. If the material is lighter than water, then it will float on the water. If the weight of the material is heavier than water, it will sink in it. Lastly, we have talked about diffusion. It means the particles of one material gets diffused into water. It means the term diffusion. Now in today's class we'll start with our objectives. Let's see what all we have to do in today's class. First we'll talk about dissolution, then dissolution of solids in water, in which we'll study about solubility and saturated solution, then effect of temperature on solubility. Then we'll come to dissolution of liquids in water and then dissolution of gases in water. Means we'll talk about all three matters and their dissolution in water. So we'll start with the term dissolution. How can we define the term dissolution? Okay, so to simply put it into, when one substance mixes completely with another substance to give a clear solution, we say it has dissolved. What does the term clear solution means? Clear solution means that no particle of that substance that we were mixing in another substance can be seen through naked eyes. I should not see any particle of that substance in another substance. For example, I have taken water and added sugar in it. When I dissolve sugar in the water, I should not see any particle of sugar with my naked eyes. I can say it is a clear solution. So, when one substance mixes completely with another substance to give a clear solution, we say it has been dissolved. And dissolution is the property by which a substance, any substance, dissolves in another substance. Okay, so one substance we'll be using in our activities today is water, because water is a substance which can dissolve a large number of substances. N number of substances can be dissolved in water. So we'll be using water here as one substance, and for another substance will variate. Correct? So to understand this dissolution, to understand this solubility more better, we'll do an activity. So in activity we have to do, take 2 glasses, fill them half with water. Okay, let me show you. Just read the activity, what we have to do. Take 2 glasses of water, fill them half. Take 1 tablespoon of sugar in one glass and 1 tablespoon of sand in another glass. Okay, let's see. Okay, as you can see, I have 1 glass of water with me which is half filled. I am going to put some sand in it and dissolve it. Now you can clearly see that the sand has not been dissolved in water, and I can see particles of sand floating on water and some particles which are heavier sinking in water, but it is not dissolved. I cannot see a clear solution. See, the particles are floating and I cannot see a clear solution. Correct? The particles are floating in water. They are not mixed, or we can say they are not dissolved. Correct? Let's take another example. I have taken another glass of water which is half filled. I am going to put half tablespoon of sugar in it and try to mix it. Let's mix it. So that was all about our activity number 1. We have understood what does it mean to be dissolved in water or not. So the substance which dissolves in water are known as soluble substances. Here we have seen sugar was the substance which gets dissolved in water and gives us clear solution, correct? As you can see here also, here the glass in which I have dissolved sugar gives us clear solution, correct? I can see through the solution and no particle is floating in the water, so it is a clear solution of sugar, correct? Okay, and the substance which do not dissolve in water, like the sand which we have taken, is called insoluble substances. It does not get dissolved in water and the particles can be seen floating in the water. So okay, before coming to our next topic, which was solubility and saturated solution, let's do a small activity through which we can understand the terms better. In this activity, we have to take a glass half filled with water and add half tablespoon of sugar in it. So I am going to use the glass which I have used in my previous activity, in which I have dissolved half tablespoon of sugar. Okay, here this is the glass in which I have already added half tablespoon of sugar in previous activity and dissolved it completely, correct? Next we have to add another half tablespoon of sugar in it. I am going to add and then dissolve it also completely. Stir it well. You see, I have dissolved another tablespoon of sugar in the half filled glass of water and we have get clear solution of water again. Clear? So all the sugar has been dissolved. I have added now 2 half tablespoon of sugar in it. What does our next step says? Next step says keep on adding sugar and stir well. Okay, I have to keep on adding sugar and stirring well. Okay, so I will add another half tablespoon of sugar in it and stir it well. Okay, so now one thing to see, I have added third half tablespoon of sugar in this half filled glass of water. But after the third spoon, I have observed, if you can see here, have you seen something floating in the water? Can you see? Here, these small particles, these are of sugar. Here you can see in the bottom of the glass also, some sugar particles are sinked in the glass of water. So what does it mean? Why after so much effort the sugar is not dissolving in water now? What can be the reason for it? Okay. So after some time you will observe that sugar is no more dissolving in the glass of water. Yes, we have seen that in the third half tablespoon of sugar, the sugar was not being completely dissolved in water. This means maximum amount of sugar has been dissolved in the glass of water. Correct. So we can interpret from that the maximum amount of sugar that can be dissolved in the water have been already dissolved, and no more sugar can be dissolved in that particular amount of water, which means in that particular amount of water, in that particular volume of water, in that half filled glass of water, no more sugar can be added. The water has reached its maximum capacity to dissolve sugar in it. No more sugar can be dissolved in it. Clear? So number of half tablespoon of sugar that has been added is the measure of solubility of sugar in that glass of water. That is what we understand by the term solubility. The number of half tablespoon of sugar that I have added in this glass of water, it measures the solubility of sugar in that glass of water for that particular volume of water. Clear? So from this we understand next term solubility. The maximum amount of substance that can be dissolved in a given volume of water is called solubility of that substance in water. So do you understand? Let's connect this definition to our activity. The maximum amount of sugar. In the place of a substance we will using sugar because we have taken sugar in previous activity. The maximum amount of sugar that can be dissolved in a given volume of water is called solubility of sugar in water. You understand? For this specific activity we can say that 3 tablespoons of sugar can be dissolved in half filled glass of water. It is the solubility of sugar in water. Clear? And we have also observed in our previous activity that in a given volume of water, for a fixed volume of water, after a specific amount, more sugar was not dissolving. That is what we have observed, that in half filled glass of water, after 3 tablespoons of sugar, no more sugar was dissolving. Such a solution which cannot dissolve more amount of a given substance at a given temperature is called a saturated solution. Means this solution that I have made of sugar and water, which now cannot dissolve more amount of sugar at a given temperature, means the temperature of water is constant throughout the experiment, is called a saturated solution. So basically this glass of water in which I have added sugar and no more sugar is dissolving, some is still sinking in the bottom of the glass. This is our saturated solution because it is not dissolving more sugar in it. Clear? So it is a saturated solution. Okay. Now after solubility and saturated solution, we have another subtopic under dissolution of dissolutions, that is effect of temperature on solubility. In previous slide under the term saturated solution we have seen that the definition says at a given temperature, correct? Such a solution which cannot dissolve more amount of a given substance at a given temperature, means when temperature is constant throughout the activity. When I have taken a normal water, say I have taken normal tap water, but when the temperature is not constant, when I change the temperature, what will happen? So effect of temperature on this solubility. Does temperature have any effect on solubility of any substance? Let's see. So on increasing the temperature, when I increase the temperature of water, when I heat the water, that is, the solubility of a substance generally increases. It means when I heat the water, when I increase the temperature of water, the solubility of a substance, we have used sugar, so solubility of sugar generally increases. So in simple words, it wants to say, if I have taken boiled water or heated water, hot water, then more sugar can be dissolved in it. Correct? Solubility of substance generally increases, which means more sugar can be added in the hot water as compared to the normal water, which has a constant temperature, which has a room temperature. Clear? That is what it want to say. We can understand it by the example of chashni. You all are aware with chashni. What does chashni means? You all must have eaten jalebis and rasgullas. Well, in jalebi you see when the uh, okay, you must have seen that when a person was making jalebi, he makes the jalebi and then add the jalebis in the chashni, or you can say sugar syrup, and it is very very thick in nature. Correct? So how does it make? How do he make the chashni? Well, he heats the water in a large bowl, in a very large bowl, and then he keeps on adding sugar in it. As the water is heated, the water is hot, more amount of sugar kept on dissolving in it, and the solution becomes thicker, because the amount of sugar that has been dissolved in it is more than it would have been dissolved when the water is at normal temperature. So when we heat water, it can dissolve more sugar in it. Correct? That is how chashni is made. This means in a given volume of water, a larger amount of a substance can be dissolved if water is heated. In simple words, we can say, in a given volume of water, for example, my half filled glass of water, I can add large amount of substance, means a larger amount of sugar I can dissolve if water is heated. If I could just heat that water, I can dissolve more amount of sugar which was not being dissolved previously. Correct? So we can say that solubility of a substance increases with increase in temperature of water. Correct? So we can say that solubility of substance, or we can say here in the reference to our activity sugar, solubility of a substance increases with increase in temperature of water. You understand? If we increase the temperature of water, so will be the solubility of substance. Correct? Both will increase. As soon as we increase the temperature of water, the solubility of that substance will also increase. Correct? So for this, to understand better effect of temperature on solubility, I will be sharing an activity for you to do at your home, a very simple activity. I will be providing you with an activity sheet in which all the instruction will be written, and you have to do the activity at your home. It is a very easy activity. You can take the help of your mother while heating the water. Correct? I will be sharing the activity in your Snap homework app. You can see it and do the activity. Correct? Okay. So after that, let's come to our next topic, that is till now we were seeing dissolution of solids in liquid. We were talking about dissolution of solids in liquid, in which we have seen the example of sand and sugar. Sand and sugar both were solid. So we have seen dissolution of solids in liquid, how some solid dissolves in water and some do not. Correct? The one who dissolves in water are called soluble substances and one who doesn't are called insoluble substances. Then we have also seen about the term solubility and saturated solution, and then we have studied about effect of temperature on solubility. Now let's come to dissolution of liquids in water. Dissolution of liquids in water. To understand this better, we'll do another activity. Okay, in this activity I have to take 2 glass of water, half filled. Here you can see I have taken another clean glass of water, half filled, and I am going to add lemon drops in it. Here I have added lemon drops. Now I will stir the solution. Here I can see that lemon drops has been dissolved in water. I have a clear solution. Lemon has been dissolved in water. And also if I taste this water or take any part of this water, either from the top or from the bottom, I will get equal amount of lemon juice in all of this water. Okay, now I will take another glass of water, half filled water, and add mustard oil in it. I have to add some drops of mustard oil in it. Okay, now I will stir this solution. Okay, what can you say? Is it dissolved? Can you see a clear solution of mustard oil in water? Does the mustard oil has been dissolved completely in water? If I take water from above the glass or below the glass, will I get mustard oil in equal amount? Well, no, because as you can see, mustard oil has not been dissolved in water. It is floating on water. It has not been dissolved completely. I can see clear water below and a layer of mustard oil above, means it has not been dissolved. If I take the water from above this glass or below this glass, above the glass I will see amount of mustard oil, but below the glass I cannot see any trace of mustard oil because it has not been dissolved. Correct? So we have observed that lemon juice dissolves in water whereas mustard oil doesn't. So we can say lemon juice is soluble in water and mustard oil is insoluble in water. We have studied those terms soluble and insoluble previously. So we can say lemon juice is soluble in water and mustard oil is insoluble in water. So what does we interpret by this activity about dissolution of liquids in water? We have seen that some liquids can be we have observed that some liquids dissolves in water, those are called soluble, and some substances, some liquids like mustard oil are not soluble in water, they are known as insoluble. Correct? So that is about dissolution of liquids in water. Okay, after dissolution of liquids in water, so we have talked about dissolution of solids in water, dissolutions of liquids in water. So now we are left with dissolution of gases in water. We are left with dissolution of gases in water. Okay, so understand dissolution of gases in water. Some gases are dissolved in water. For example, in our cold drinks, carbon dioxide gas is dissolved. We can observe we can observe it by a very simple activity. Take a sealed bottle of this can also you can also do this activity at your homes. I'll be showing you this activity also. Take a sealed bottle of cold drink, open the cap and observe. Let's observe. Here is a sealed bottle. I am going to open it. Let's observe what will happen. Correct? You can see here. What is it? This white colored layer, small bubbles of gas. This is carbon dioxide gas. So when we open a sealed bottle of cold drink or soda drink, we observe that bubbles of gas comes out of the bottle with a sound. A sound also came and bubble of gas float on the cold drink also comes out of the bottle. This gas is carbon dioxide which has been dissolved in cold drinks. Correct? You can do this activity at your home also. You must also have seen when somebody shakes the bottle forcefully and then open the cap the gas comes out of the bottle very forcefully and all the cold drink spills over. That is also due to the presence of carbon dioxide in the bottle. Correct? That is about a dissolution of gases in water. So now can you guess how aquatic animals breathe underwater? We all know that all living organisms take oxygen and gives carbon dioxide. So how does aquatic animals breathe? How do they take oxygen from? We can take it from the air around us. I'm sure you are guessing it correctly. Oxygen is also dissolved in water, which is used by aquatic animals to breathe. Aquatic animals takes the oxygen from the water. Oxygen is dissolved in the water around them and they take the oxygen from it to breathe. Okay, so in solubility of liquids with water, we have seen effect of temperature. Here we can also observe effect of temperature. So in the context of dissolution of gases in water, solubility of gas in water increases with increase in temperature. It means when we increase the temperature of water, the solubility of gas decreases in it. It is opposite. As soon as I increase the temperature of water, or I can say I heated the water, the solubility of gas in water decreases. One of the best example of this is when the temperature of oceans or rivers get increased due to global warming or a very hot temperature. The aquatic animals find it very difficult to breathe and it is deadly for aquatic animals. Where global warming is deadly for aquatic animals too, because the overall temperature of oceans and rivers, if it get increased, then the amount of oxygen dissolved in it will also gets decreased. Do you understand? As soon as the temperature of oceans and rivers gets increased, the amount of oxygen dissolved in it gets decreased. So for aquatic animals it is a deadly situation. They will have less oxygen to breathe. They will be less oxygen available for them to breathe in. Clear? Okay, so just like liquids and solids, not all gases are soluble in water. Some gases like helium, ozone and hydrogen, they do not get dissolved in water. Not all gases are dissolved in water. Some gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide, they get dissolved in water, but some gases like helium, ozone and hydrogen do not get dissolved in water. Clear? This is about dissolution of gases in water. So, what all we have done today? We have talked about the term dissolution. What is dissolution? We have seen that one substance is mixing of one substances completely with another substance to give a clear solution is known as dissolution. Correct? Then we have done an activity to show that some substances, some solids can be soluble in water and some can be insoluble in water. We have seen that sugar has been dissolved in water, whereas sand do not dissolve in water. So sugar here was soluble substance, whereas sand here was a insoluble substance. Then we have done another activity to see and to understand the term solubility and saturated solution. We have added half tablespoon of sugar again and again in a particular amount of water, in a particular volume of water, till no more sugar can be dissolved in it, and we have said that this is a saturated solution, means no more sugar can be now dissolved in it at a given temperature. Correct? That is called saturated solution, and the amount of sugar that has been dissolved in that particular volume of water is the solubility of sugar. Correct? Then we have come to the point effect of temperature on solubility. We have seen how increasing the temperature of water affects the solubility. We have observed that by increasing the temperature of water, more substance can be now dissolved in that particular volume of water. Correct? And I'll be also sharing an activity for you to do at. Then we have done another activity in which we have seen dissolution of liquids in water. In it we have taken 2 glasses of water and added 2 different liquids in it. One is lemon juice, another is mustard oil. We have observed that whereas lemon juice is soluble in water, but mustard oil is not soluble in water, which means lemon juice is soluble and mustard oil is insoluble in water. Then we have done another activity in which we have seen dissolution of gases in water. In this, we have opened a sealed bottle of cold drink and have observed bubbles of gas, carbon dioxide gas above the cold drink. So by this observation we can say that carbon dioxide gas is dissolved in cold drink. We have also understand this dissolution of gases in water by taking an example of oxygen dissolved in water bodies, which is taken up by aquatic animals to breathe. We have also studied the solubility of gas in water. What is the effect of temperature on the solubility of gas in water? We have seen that with increase in the temperature of water, solubility of gas decreases. That is why when the overall temperature of oceans and rivers increases, the aquatic animals find it very difficult to survive because they cannot take oxygen as much as they can take in cold water. The amount of oxygen dissolved in the water bodies becomes less, and the oxygen is no more available in so much amount for aquatic animals to take in. And we have seen that not all gases are dissolved in water. Some gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide dissolves in water, whereas some gases like helium, ozone and hydrogen, they do not get dissolved in water. That is what we have done today. Now for your home assignment, I will be providing you an activity sheet on Snap Homework app for you to do at your home. You have to do this activity and fill the sheet accordingly and paste it in your notebooks. Secondly, you have to write all the keywords given in your book on page number 43. If you do not have books right now with you, you all have gotten the PDF of this chapter, Nature of Matter, on your Snap Homework app. Please see it. I'm showing you. Okay, I'll be showing you the doc. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Okay, it is not coming on the screen. It is not coming on the screen. Okay. So we have shared the PDF of the chapter Nature of Matter on the Snap Homework app. In this, at the end of the chapter, you will find some keywords. On page number 43, you will find some keywords. You have to write those keywords in your fair notebook. Those are some important terms and their definitions. You will write all these in your fair notebook. Okay, so that is all for today. Now you can ask your queries on chat and I will try my best to answer all of them. Okay, let's come to the chat.